Hey everybody, welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Chris. Today's video is all about winter florals. I'm going to be honest with you, not the fragrances I typically tend to reach for in the colder months. And frankly, when I think of florals, I usually think of spring and summer, but there are some beautiful floral fragrances that are perfect or do really, really well in the colder months, and that is what I'm going to be talking about today. And before I get started, if you want to share your favorite winter floral fragrances, let us all know down below. And with that, I'm going to get started with the two fragrances I think of first when I think of floral fragrances that are good for the cold weather. The first one is this beautiful one right here, 100 Silent Ways. I know nobody talks about it anymore because it was really, really popular, like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, but I still enjoy it to this day. Lots of flowers. I think it's mostly white flowers, but it's very, very vanillic. It's a very sweet, it's almost like a gourmand floral or a flormand. And it has peach, a little bit of peach sweetness, a little bit of peach fruitiness, and a beautiful creamy sandalwood in the base. It's really good year round. Frankly, I don't wear it a lot in the hot weather because with that vanilla, that heavy vanillic sweetness, I think it does better in the colder months. Great lasting power, one of my most complimented scents. I do absolutely love it. Another absolute stunner in the wintertime, and I don't even consider wearing this in the summer. This would be a big no-no. I wear her sister's in the summer, but Delina Exclusif is one of my favorite fragrances to wear in the wintertime. This can go up against any cold day. This is so strong. You know, you have that rose. This still has that rose lychee, but the rhubarb is really missing in here. It doesn't have, if it has the rhubarb's really toned down. It has a lot of vanilla, so it's very sweet. It has a powdery dry down. This has a little bit of incense and a little bit of oud that I don't really get in the air. I only get that if I go in for a little sniff where I sprayed it. I get more of that powdery vanillic rose lychee, slight woody spicy thing in the air, but absolutely beautiful. One of my, if you like beast mode fragrances, this is right at the top of the list. I've sprayed it in my hair before, and this has lasted literally 24 hours. Another floral fragrance that I find super duper intoxicating is this one right here by Liquide Imaginaire. It's called Liquide. And at first I think it was just a limited release. I think they only made 2,000 bottles, and I have 1,000. I have bottle 570 out of 999, and then they subsequently changed their mind, and now I think it's unlimited. But this is, this smells like the bottle looks. It's like liquid gold, another Quentin Biche magical creation, and the flower in here is orange blossom, but it has these warm notes with it. There is saffron, there are dates, I want to say. Oh my gosh, it's just so intoxicating, and the saffron is present, but it's not in your face. And to me, it almost, saffron smells like leather most of the time to me, so it does give it this leathery vibe. It's got this magical note of a carrot seed, and I tend to like all fragrances that have that note in it. It's warm, it's glistening. I want to say this has a little bit of aldehydes, but this really, it doesn't read soapy. Aldehydes typically read soapy. This just reads warm and cozy and glistening, literally like golden sunshine. And so because of the saffron and because of that leathery facet, I just prefer to wear this when it's colder as opposed to being really, really hot. I don't typically reach for this in the hot weather, and it's just been a magical floral fragrance when it's cold, but the sun is shining and the sun is out. This one is the newest flanker to the Lettre Rouge. I used to have that. I ended up decluttering it because I just like the EDP better, and I'm going to show that too. Let me just show that. But I wanted to get my nose on the newest release because I saw that it had like a cacao or a chocolate note. So this is very, very similar to the original Rouge. Bubblegummy tuberose. It does not have those zingy notes. There is no blood orange. There's no ginger. What this has instead is like a cacao note. So it does have that floral aspect, that Lettre Rouge backbone, but it's got that cacao note. So as this dries down, it just becomes more warm and cozy. That cacao note just envelops, it wraps those, bubblegummy tuberose white flower notes into this warm, cozy cacao, and I actually do like it. One of my favorite, florals to wear in the wintertime is the Lettre De EDP Intense. It's still my favorite despite this being a good one because I love the warm, cozy sesame, the sesame, vanilla, a little bit of pepper. You still have those white flowers, and to me, the tuberose smells like grape bubblegum. So take that grape bubblegum, white flower tuberose thing, add a little bit of pepper in the beginning, add a delicious warm sesame, which pairs so well with the vanilla. I'm telling you, it's the vanilla sesame combo in here that is so incredibly intoxicating that I love. Has a nice sandalwood base. It dries down so warm and cozy, and one of my very favorite florals to wear in the cold weather. Another beautiful fragrance that I have been neglecting. I wore this just the other day. It was very, very cold, and it's just so beautiful. This is Psychedelic Love by Initio, and this is really an ylang-ylang heavy fragrance with some spices in the background. This may have nutmeg. It might have some incense. I definitely get something, something kind of incensey. I think it's myrrh. That's what it is. This has myrrh, ylang-ylang, some vanilla. I get like a vanillic sweetness, some spices, some warmth. I'm sure it has amber, and it has a really, really pretty, creamy, slightly sweet vanillic sandalwood in the base. Very intoxicating. It's not, it's not a screamer. And that's fine by me because I have worn this to work. It's just nice and cozy. It has a nice tight scent bubble. And when people do kind of get into my little zone, they think I smell really, really terrific. One of Picky Pat's favorite perfumes on me is the gorgeous Psychedelic Love. And one doesn't think of ylang ylang as a wintertime floral, but with those notes that do accompany it, the myrrh, the sandalwood, the creamy, vanillic, ambery thing that's in the background. It's absolutely beautiful. Okay, I do have a couple of Chanel perfumes typically, or the Chanel fragrances that I own for the most part. Well, a lot of them are ones I reach for more kind of in the spring and summer because Chanel is known for the aldehydes, which is very sparkly. It's very fresh, very clean, almost soapy, and they're florals. A couple of their fragrances I have found are really, really pretty in the wintertime. I think this was my very first Chanel fragrance. This is Chanel number 5, Eau Premiere. This is my third bottle. Now the second bottle, I was halfway done, or I had a big dent in it. I ended up giving it to my mom, Picky Lori, because she loves it. So I missed it so much, I had to buy another bottle. And it has been neglected for several years because for a long time, this was basically my signature scent. But it is such a classic, and I started wearing it in the wintertime. So when I smell it, and I had the body cream, which is so delicious, and I wore that all the time in the wintertime. So I tend to think of this as more of a colder weather scent because it has the vanilla in here, because it's a little bit powdery. It's not one that I'm going to reach for in the warmer weather. So this, this is a flanker of Chanel number 5, but this one is a lot less aldehydic. The aldehydes are toned down. It's a little bit more buttery. It's not as thick. It's not as dense. It's not as overly soapy, or the florals aren't as soapy. And I do think this has a little bit of vanilla in here. So it has this beautiful sweetness, and it's a fragrance that I need to start wearing more because it is a classic. It's a masterpiece. And I love it. The other one that I think would do or does well in the colder months, I have been wearing it a couple times, maybe, 3 or 4 times over the, the fall and the winter, is Gabrielle Essence. I like this so much better than the original Gabrielle, which something about it, the white flowers or the florals in there they smelled very metallic to me. Now these do not. I don't know what it was about the original Gabrielle that smelled metallic, but I don't get that in here. And I know it has some citruses, maybe grapefruit. It's got like red fruits, white flowers. It absolutely has jasmine, like basically every Chanel fragrance, almost every Chanel fragrance has. But it's just so nice, and it's very chic. It's very elegant. It's very timeless. It's very classic. I feel very, very professional and put together when I wear this. This is one that if I was wearing like jeans and a t-shirt and I sprayed this, I would just feel like very put together and very classic. Yeah, I just really, really love it. And another one that when I wear it and people smell it, they say, wow, you smell so good, you smell so classy, you smell so chic, you smell so professional, and I do love it. A really nice, affordable floral that I think is good in the wintertime. I talked about it a lot because I love showing a really good affordable fragrance. Is Kate Spade Sparkle. This was a blind buy because I had bought the original Kate Spade and I really love it, and I think it's Louise Turner, a very famous nose, who is the nose behind this one. She came up with so many, you know, good girl. I want to say she took a part in the creation of, what am I thinking of? Angel. She's behind Blanche Bette. She's behind a lot ex nihilo fragrances. She has her own line. I mean, she has just done a ton. Very, very talented nose. And I think this was all of like $25, $30 when I bought it. This is a peony, so this is a pink floral dominant fragrance, so that's what I get. So definitely peony, maybe rose, and then it's paired with black currant. I know black currant is in here. Maybe it's the color, but I do definitely get like black currant, or maybe it has cassis in here. So rose, peony, black currant, and a creme brulee accord. So it's basically like half floral and like half blackcurrant pie. So imagine roses and peonies covered in like a blackcurrant cobbler or a blackcurrant pie. It's soft, it's lovely, it's very, very nice, and I think for the price, it's a fantastic fragrance. I don't typically like, or I don't talk about discontinued fragrances, pretty much for obvious reasons. I think that would be super frustrating for you guys, but I did want to mention that sometimes in the wintertime or in the cold weather, when I want to wear a floral fragrance, oftentimes I am just craving a jammy rose, like a jammy spicy rose. And one of the prettiest is this one right here, Kayali Sweet Diamond Pink Pepper. I'm so sad they discontinued it because, it's just such a beautiful fragrance. And when I want to scratch that itch, similar to, you know, Sweet Diamond Pink Pepper, is this beautiful rose fragrance right here from the line Liquide. This is Lettre De Pushkar. This is also a beautiful, spicy, jammy, ambery, sweet rose. Jammy rose, sweet amber with spices. This mainly has saffron, and I do smell the saffron, but that leathery facet that typically accompanies saffron isn't too heavy. The rose in here is dark, beautiful, jammy, and it wins out over that saffron. The saffron is like a supporting player. The jammy, beautiful rose is the star, along with a gorgeous amber. Oh my gosh, it's absolutely beautiful. Sweet, but not cloying. And when it's cold and when I want to wear like a romantic, sweet, spicy rose, this is, you know, one of the first ones I'm going to be reaching for. And the last one is a fragrance that I didn't know what to do with at first. I got this perfume. I got this in PR, and at first I just did not know what to think, so I let it sit. It really kind of sat for about a month. I went back to it maybe a month, 6 weeks later, and it was a completely different fragrance, and it went from, I don't know what to think about this perfume, maybe this perfume is not me in a bottle, to now I think it's a beautiful, very unique fragrance, and this is Prodigy by Mind Games, just FYI, for my perfume Vanilla Eclat. I completely stole this bottle idea. I loved the high gloss ombre, you know, bottle. It's just so beautiful. All their bottles are stunning, but this one is very, very unique. It features a rose note, like a spicy rose, or there's a flower in here, and I'm forgetting the name of the flower, that to me smells like a spicy rose. It's very exotic. There's patchouli in here, but it doesn't smell earthy at all. The patchouli is more like woody. I definitely get amber, like ambroxan amber, that gives it this very, almost a molecular flair, very, very modern. And it has a little bit of some gourmand elements. I want to say like cafe au lait, coffee something. I do not get a sweet coffee. I do not get a creamy coffee. I do not get a chocolatey coffee. I get a hint of something, you know, slightly earthy and slightly bitter with a touch, and I mean a touch of sweetness. Maybe there's a little bit of vanilla in here, but by no means a full-on gourmand, because, let me smell it again, because it's really a floral perfume first and foremost. A beautiful, spicy. I would call it maybe a deep red rose. This would be terrific for Valentine's Day. We're heading into February. Tomorrow is February 1st, and this would be a terrific fragrance to wear for Valentine's Day because it's sexy, it's dark, it's mysterious, it's inviting, it's very, very unique, it's not boring. And I just think that it has a very alluring quality to it. And who knows, maybe I will wear it for Valentine's Day. I'll probably wear something that Mr. Picky Pat loves. And I don't even know if he's smelled that yet. But anyways, that was it. Those are some of my terrific floral fragrances, winter florals or colder weather florals. Floral fragrances that I love to wear or that are my favorite to wear in the colder months because I'm not always reaching for, you know, floral fragrances when it's cold outside. I'm typically going for, you know, my vanillic, incensey, woody fragrances, spicy, warm, cozy. But these are all very beautiful, very stunning, and I love wearing them this time of the year. So that was it. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for watching. If I didn't happen to mention your favorite floral fragrance to wear in the colder months, let us all know down below. Thanks to everybody who always stops by, who subscribes to my channel, gives me a like, a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And with that, I will see you on the next one.